Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are making a yummy appetizer idea. This is a Mango Pico De Gallo. It's a good appetizer with tortilla chips, but it's also really delicious on like grilled chicken or salmon. It's the perfect recipe for warm weather, which hopefully will be here soon. I am so ready. Let's get started with this easy recipe. So the hardest thing about this recipe is really just cutting up the ingredients, which is so easy. I'm gonna show you the easiest way to cut a mango. I know these are kind of intimidating sometimes, especially if you haven't cut them before. And a really good way to pick mangoes out is if you just gently press on here, it's like, it gives a little bit, but it's not mushy and it's not hard. That's how you know your mangoes are ripe. And another good tip is just, we need 4 for this recipe, so I would just buy 6 mangoes. That way you have a couple left in case any of these are rotten or not ripe enough. That way you don't have to run back to the grocery store. So the first thing I do when I'm gonna cut a mango is I look for this little bump. That's gonna be my first cut. You can see it. See that little, it's just like a little divot right here. That's gonna be the cut that I always start with every single time, and this just gets easier and easier the more you do it. And I like to use a smaller knife for this, so I'm just gonna cut down. And basically what that tells me is that this is gonna be a skinny piece. See, I've even cut into the seed a little bit, which I really didn't want to do, but that's fine. And then I'm gonna just turn it this way, and I'm gonna cut the next slice. These slices on the sides are gonna be a little bit thicker, and that's gonna be where most of our mango comes from. Just like that. And then this, you can cut a little bit off of it. You can also just give it to your kids to snack on. My oldest loves having these. And then once I get into the meat like this, I'm just gonna cut almost like grid lines in it. Not through the skin, but just enough to get to it. And then all I do is take a spoon and I just scoop this out right into my bowl. It's really easy to scoop out. Once you get those grid lines in there, that's it. And then I just repeat it. I'm gonna do 4 mangoes. See the little cubes? Okay, so our mango is all chopped up. It looks delicious. Next, we're gonna add in our jalapeños. So I got 2 monster jalapeños like this. I don't know why they were this big at the grocery store, but they were. If you have smaller ones, then just use about 4 of them. And then what we wanna do is, I don't want it so spicy that I can't eat it. So I am gonna cut around the seeds and membranes like this. What I'm looking for is flavor, but not too much heat. So I just want peppers to be like this. No seeds, no membranes, just the pepper. And we're gonna dice these up really thinly so you don't get a giant bite of spice. Okay, so add in those jalapeños. This ended up being about a half a cup of jalapeños. Okay, so for our cilantro, we wanna make sure we give it a nice rinse because sometimes cilantro can be a little bit sandy. And we're gonna cut off the stems the best we can. It's no big deal if you get some stems in there, but try and get most of them off. And we are just gonna mince this up. Go ahead and add this in. Okay, and then next we're just going to chop up the red onion. We just need a cup, so I've got a big giant red onion here. I'm probably only gonna use about half of it. This one is super strong. My eyes are like crying all over the place right now. That always happens to me with red onions. And honestly, I don't use red onions a whole lot, but I feel like Mexican food, like with tacos or pico de gallo, like it's just not the same to do like yellow onions. I use yellow sweet onions all the time at the house. Like that's like the one thing I always have in the pantry. But for Mexican cooking, I just feel like you gotta have red onions. Just gives it a really nice bite. Okay, and we're gonna really finely chop these. I need some safety goggles. Oh my goodness. Ah. Okay, I'm better now. That was horrible. Okay, so let's scoop our red onions into our bowl. And now it's time for our lime juice. We're gonna use the juice from 2 limes. This is such an easy recipe and it really is so tasty. It's especially good when you don't have to cry when you make it. Maybe your red onions won't be as spicy as mine. I am struggling right now, still. My nose is running, everything. Plus allergies in the south are horrible right now. Like if I go outside and it's windy, I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep like for the rest of the day. It makes me so tired. Okay. That is perfect. And then this is optional, but I like salt. I just feel like salt is yummy. So I'm just gonna put in a touch of salt. This is like that flake salt, but you can use any kind of salt. Just do a couple pinches. We're also gonna add in just a sprinkle of sugar. A sprinkle, I mean a tablespoon. I want this to be like a nice sweet and limey, sweet and citrusy type of mix. And we're gonna really stir that super well because we don't want any of that grainy sugar. I'm also gonna add in 3/4 of a teaspoon of cumin. And I love Cholula. Cholula, is that how you say it, Cholula? I'm just gonna put a few dashes of this in. This is just like, something about Cholula, it's different than regular hot sauce. It's really flavorful. I'm not like a huge fan of hot sauce, but I love Cholula. Again, this looks so good. I wish it was warm enough to go on the boat right now, but it's not. It's like 60 degrees out at the end of March. Why? Why? And then if you feel like you wanna add some extra stuff to this, you can definitely add in some tomatoes. I really like Roma tomatoes in pico. You can also add in some fresh avocado diced. You can make it a little bit fancier than this. This is just really simple. Okay, so once it's all done, I'm just gonna cover it with saran wrap, plastic wrap, and I'm gonna stick it in the fridge for 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes. An hour will be better, but if you only have 30 minutes, that's totally fine. It's been 30 minutes and I can hardly wait because I'm starving. I haven't had lunch yet. So let's go in for a scoop. So good. The cumin and sugar really mix together super well. And there's gonna be a little bit of like liquid at the bottom. You can definitely drain that out. I know pico is usually like chunky with no liquid. It's totally up to you. This is really, really good. That's it. We're all done with this easy Mango Pico De Gallo recipe. Let me know in the comments if you decide to make it. It only takes 10 minutes, so make it. You guys will love this one. It's perfect for spring and summer. Let me know in the comments how much you loved it. And make sure to subscribe so that we can keep cooking together. I love making easy recipes, so it makes your life just a little bit simpler. Thanks so much, and I will see you next time.